So has anyone heard about the Art Loeb Trail before? Yeah, some people. Awesome. It's about a 30-mile hike in Pisgah National Forest, just west of Asheville in North Carolina. It's a point-to-point hike, so it doesn't loop back, which can be a little bit difficult, but there's like some pretty affordable shuttle drivers in the area who will like shuttle you from point to point. Or if you want to like take two cars down or have friends that also live in the area to like set up a shuttle like that. The northern terminus is Daniel Boone Boy Scout Camp. That's about 6.5 hours away. And then Davidson River Campground is the southernmost terminus, which is like almost 7 hours. So pretty comparable drive distances. Um, yeah, pretty easy to get down there and then still get some miles in later in the day. From like the northern terminus to the southern terminus by car, I would say it's like 2 hours maybe. So not so bad. And you can get a shuttle driver to drive you. So you can just hang out for that portion of it. It's great because you don't need permits. You can just show up. You do need a bear can. So some people like or do not like that. Bear cans are nice because you don't really have to worry about your food at night and you can just kind of forget about it once you set it down. There's some good water sources along the trail as long as you like are cognizant of them. They're not everywhere, but water does exist and you don't have to do any crazy big water carries. And then there's like this little map that can like show you where all the water is. And you can do this any time of year. And campsites, there are some pretty good like marked campsites on the trail, but it's national forest land, so you can do dispersed camping along all 30.1 miles of trail, wherever you want to set up a hammock or tent. So you may want to decide on a direction you're going to hike. Both are great. I will say going north, there's about 2,000 feet more of elevation gain, but you do that towards like the back half of the trail. Whereas if you go south, you're not going up nearly as much over the 30 miles, but you start with a pretty big 4-mile climb right from the parking lot. I went northbound personally and I found I was at the end of the trip, I was much more excited to be going down that hill than if I had to pack for like 30 miles of food. I would be very upset to climb that hill on the northern terminus. So it may be more overall, but I think it's a better system to go from south to north. Yeah. Okay, so now we'll just go on to like a brief, like day by day. Starting the southern terminus is like, kind of like classic East Coast Appalachia hiking. Really nice, like dense forests, great tent pads to set up on, easy ground to stake your tent into, a lot of greenery if you go not in the middle of winter. And I will say it's pretty well marked. People say there's some confusing junctions, but like with a map and maybe like a GPS, it's not like too bad at all to navigate. So going northbound, the big climb is Pilot Mountain, probably around like early day 2 or late day 2. It's very steep. It's a very difficult climb. I didn't really have a lot of fun with it, but once you're done with that, it's like a much easier hike and you're like, oh, that's the hardest thing I got to do. And you can just kind of keep walking and enjoy yourself. This is like a little bit of that climb up where it looks like this waterfall right here is actually the trail. So you're like, I don't really want to walk up wet rocks, but you do. And then you get to the top and then here's the view from the top. And it's nice because you get to the top and there's a shelter. So you can just end your day there, have like a roof over your head if it's raining. And then there's also a really nice water source, like 300 feet down from the shelter. So it's a great place to set up camp. And the shelters are very similar, like the AT 3-walled shelters, if you guys are familiar with that at all. So yeah, that's a good place to camp. And then after Pilot Mountain, you have like a little bit more climbing to do, which I know nobody really likes to do after a lot of climbing. But this climb goes by way faster and you end in this like super flat like pine forest. So everything's like super soft to walk on. You don't even really need a sleeping pad, just very comfortable. And tons of great tent sites all along this section. And that kind of puts you right into what I think is like the best part of the Art Loeb Trail is this 6 mile ridge walk. So you start by going over Black Basalt Mountain, which is about 6,000 feet and the highest point of the trail. And then just like super awesome, beautiful ridge walk. If it's sunny, it looks like this. And if it's not sunny, it looks like this. But I think it's still like, you can even cloudy it. It's still like a gorgeous, gorgeous walk. I think this actually I took from Brian. I think he did just choose like the one bad time of year to go. So I would go in May. Um, and like sometimes there is really nice signage like this. It shows arrows and clearly states the Art Loeb Trail, which is really all you need to navigate any trail. And then you kind of come off that 6 mile ridge walk into this. These trees, I don't really know what they're called. I don't know much about plants. But I'm sure you guys could find out when you're on the trail. And it's just like this really beautiful canopy that you walk through, and you're kind of like on your way out of the trail, and it's nice, easy terrain. You've had difficult terrain and beautiful views, and now you're just kind of like coasting on the way out, and it's super nice and flat and awesome. And there's water kind of coming down off the hill to your right as you walk northbound. So really great to like stop and have like a nice cooked breakfast after getting like some miles in the morning. Um, yeah, I think that's it. I think that was a quick 10 minutes. Oh, 1 minute now. Perfect. I'm going to stop at 9 minutes and give everyone back a minute. So